Hi, 8th graders. Happy Tuesday. All right, today we are going to finish up talking about Canada and the today-ish part of it. The most recent information that you are going to get, though, is from your passport. And remember, those are due on Monday. And just as I started to grade them, you guys do need to know that for your passport in red, those are statistics and information of the United States that I put in. You still have to do the CIA World Factbook information on Canada, and you're making a comparison between the numbers that I put in and the numbers that you find, okay? So I tried to send you guys an email that was going to be referred to you. All right, so let's get started with the government. So peace, order, and good government is a statement from Canada's Constitution, all right? Something that we talk about when we're in class is the part of good government. What is good government? If we did have more time or we could all be in class together, I did have an activity that we worked on with talking about certain things that maybe you would put within a country's constitution and what you feel would be good government. All right, so as we talked about, Canada and again the United States and Mexico all have a form of a democracy, meaning that the people can vote. All right, and instead of being led by a president, which we have here, like our president is President Trump, all right, in Canada they have a prime minister who, as you know if you finished your passport, is Justin Trudeau. All right, so the prime minister is the head of the country's government. Canada's Prime Minister oversees the country's parliament, all right, and Canada's governing body. So in Canada, they do have a lot of similarities to what we have here in the United States, but there are also some differences. So one, with their parliament, that's going to consist of something called the House of Commons, all right, we have the House of Representatives, and then the Senate, and we also have a branch of government with the Senate. So the Canadians, okay, if you are of age to vote, you can elect members of the House of Commons. Just like when I'm going to go vote here soon, I get to elect people for the House of Representatives, all right? But the senators are appointed by the Prime Minister. That is different here because as a United States citizen, I can vote for a senator. But then we talked about how like the Supreme Court judge and justices, like I cannot vote for that. That is then appointed by our president, all right? So Canada has, again, 10 provinces that we have been over. So 10 provinces, 3 territories. Each of these provinces then are led by somebody called a premier. Just like each state in the United States is led by a governor. So a premier is sort of like a governor that we have here. All right? Okay, so here is Justin Trudeau. Okay, regionalism. This is kind of like in United States history when we talked about patriotism. So regionalism refers to the connection, that strong connection that people have towards the region that they live in. There's a lot of cultural differences, though, between some of these regions, especially the English-speaking and the French-speaking, all right? English is going to be the main language in Canada, but as we have found out, the second most common language spoken in Canada is going to be French. All right, so when they meet, okay, so when the premiers and stuff meet, and they're going to talk about their region and their region's issues and their region's needs. And that's what you want your premier to do. Just like when Minnesotans, we vote for a governor or we vote for our 2 senators. We are going to look for somebody who has Minnesota in their mind, and they're going to put Minnesota first. All right, so that is the same thing with regionalism and the premiers. They are going to want somebody who puts their region and their province first for any concerns or issues that they have. Okay, so some of these provinces are going to be the eastern provinces. So with the eastern provinces, we're going to call them maritime. Okay, so maritime, not just with Canada, but maritime means on or near the sea. Newfoundland and Labrador, are usually not considered one of these provinces though. But again, this is the area that we talked about the Grand Banks, we talked about how there's like a lot of fishing that takes place here and businesses and so forth. So Maritime fits quite well with that. Let's see here, the Heartland. All right, so the Heartland is going to be Quebec and Ontario. And if you do look at the map, and bear with me, maybe you don't see this, but if you look at the map of these two places, it almost looks like an abstracted heart, all right, together-ish. So do you see that? Maybe. That's how I remember that Quebec and Ontario are part of the Heartland, because again, together they kind of look like a heart. All right, so this is where more than half of all Canadians are going to live within these two provinces. But again, these provinces are huge, okay? Also, they have, you know, the further south that you go where their larger cities are, because again, the further south you go in Canada, then the warmer it's going to be. 3.5 million people live within Montreal. It's a metropolitan area, financial industry, and so forth. We're going to skip over that. So again, if you take this and this, I don't know. I kind of think it looks like a heart, but that's how I remember. If it helps you, great. If not, that's fine. Okay, so Ontario is Canada's leading manufacturing province. All right, Hamilton, Ontario is the center of Canada's steel industry. Lots of steel, okay? Which again gets a lot of transportation between the United States and Canada. Oh, that's what I just said. So Toronto is the center of industry, finance, education, and culture. Again, lots of people from China, lots of people from Europe and India live within this area. So yesterday we talked about immigration and different ethnicities, that people throughout the past couple of hundred years have moved to Canada and how that's changed Canada and really made them who they are today, all right? Canada's national capital, again, is Ottawa. Okay, it's kind of fun to say Ottawa. And Ottawa is within Ontario. All right. All right, the western provinces are going to include Manitoba, which is directly above us, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and then British Columbia. So the southern areas of this is going to be known as the Wheat Belt. I wonder what they grow in the wheat belt. Would you know?
Wheat and belts?
Wheat and belts, or how about just wheat? All right, so they grow a lot of wheat in this area. All right, oil and natural gas, again, is all within Alberta. And then the Canadian Rockies and British Columbia also. I mean, all these provinces within Canada, beautiful. Tons of people then again like to come here and visit. I'd go there if you guys wanted to send me. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay, so British Columbia is home to almost 4 million people. That's a lot. All right. Lots of mountains and forest and salmon. Oh my goodness, salmon's like my favorite fish of all time. I would just love to, yes, be able to catch fresh salmon and eat it. Oh my stars, that would be fantastic. Nearly half of all people in British Columbia's population, though, they live in this area called Vancouver, all right? Now, the city's location on the Pacific coast helps its trade with Asia, and I tried to show you this yesterday on that big map in the back of my wall. If we could take that flat map and turn it, and it's not a huge distance between the two. So here's Vancouver. All right, now let's talk about the 3 territories really quickly. So again, on Friday we watched a video about the Inuit and people living up in the Arctic. Yesterday we talked about the territories as well. And again, that Inishuk activity that we're doing on top of that. All right, so yes, it's cold because it's in the Arctic Circle. So we have Yukon Territory, we have Northwest Territory, and then we have Nunavut. All right, so Nunavut is a new territory for the Inuit people. So the people that we talked about and watched on Friday, and then the Inuit people we talked about yesterday when we talked about history. All right, Nunavut means our land, which is kind of beautiful. It's part of Canada, but they have their own very distinct culture and type of government. Hence why when they were hunting, we were told in the video that they have to use their traditional ways of hunting for their culture and their government, okay? So even though they are part of the country of Canada, it is a little separate. All right, so some industries that they have. Again, world's leading mineral producers in titanium, zinc, iron ore, gold, and coal. Again, Canada's iron and steel are used to make airplanes, they're used to make household appliances. Automobiles is huge. I know you have something in your book that talks about how an automobile is made and the trading between the United States and Canada for these automobiles. Most Canadians, again, are going to work in the service industry. So this is something that, again, you had to locate on your passport. So take a look at that percentage of Canada's economy when it comes to the service industry. And yes, tourism is huge in Canada, all right, huge. Canada's economy depends on trading, all right? Natural resources, again, are exported around the world. Canada's leading trade partner is us, the United States, okay? As the world's largest trading relationships, Canada and the United States rely on each other. Now, Mexico is in this as well. It used to be called NAFTA, now it's called USMCA, and we will talk more about that, but this is open border trading network that we have with Mexico, the United States, and Canada, and I want to say it was just last year that we kind of changed some things and changed the name. All right, 60% of Canada's imported goods are from the United States, and then 85% of Canada's exports go to the United States. So we have a very good relationship with Canada, and we want to keep that, especially when it comes to importing and exporting goods. So if there was something that would divide the two, we would definitely feel that with our imports and our exports, okay? I'm gonna kind of skip that, and okay, we're done, kind of short. So finish your note sheet. If you have any questions, again, just email me. Let's work on your initials, let's work on your map and your passport, get those turned in, and we will review tomorrow. And again, we are going to test on Thursday and Friday, whichever day that you're in school. All right, have a good one.